It's Wednesday, 20th of March, 2024, and this PowerPoint for you here on MGD TV. I'm Jacob Junior Mungesi, and allow me to know how you are doing, how is life taking you, how is this sunshine taking you. Of course, here in Uganda, we're a bit better, if I can say, according to what we've been hearing from other countries and our counterparts here in South Sudan. People are crying. Things are not easy. And I was just reading someone, people, and they were like, anytime from now, South Sudan is expected to be a desert area, not even semi-desert as it is right now. But we send our prayers to the people of South Sudan, people in Sudan. We send our prayers and say, may God be there for you. Let Him do the needful. As a Christian and as a believer, we believe God will do something great. Otherwise, it's still PowerPoint, and today I happen to host somebody, and we are going to be talking a lot with him. I've been looking for him for some good time, but today we happen to get him, and he's a young man. He's a youth. Yeah, though he has, when you look at his face, you will think you're talking to, that is how, when I was growing up, we had an image of a professor. When they would talk of a professor, there is something that would come to your mind. So today I happen to host a youth and a politician who is vying for a very big position in the parliament of Uganda. And today we want to see, because people are strategizing, this is the time people are strategizing. We only have 2 years to the general elections in 2026. I think to be around Feb 2026. So people are strategizing, and the person I'm hosting today is one of those people who are strategizing themselves for the big seat, or for something that many Ugandans would wish to also get a chance to have, at least in a part of their lives. So, Mr. You're welcome. May you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Well, thank you very much, the host. Well, my name is Shedrick Ayebale, and I am an aspirant for Kibanda North Constituency Member of Parliament, that is in Kiryandongo district in Bunyoro region.
Just brief like that.
Very brief.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody told me it's very hard to get a politician whom, when you tell them, please introduce yourself, they will only speak out their name and end there. Always they will go beyond. Even somebody made fun and was like, sometimes they feel like telling you they are great-great-grandfathers. Okay, Mr. Ayebale, the fact that you're a youth, I want to begin on you immediately. I want you to tell us, you have, before I saw your posts, and you're vying for this position come 2026, and it's on the NRM ticket. Exactly. Can you tell us why NRM, and why not FDs and other parties that we see in Uganda?
Well, thank you very much for that question. For starters, the NRM is the ruling government, and NRM is the party I prescribe to as a youth and as a Ugandan. Because if you're to see, we Ugandans, we have the freedom and the right to prescribe to any political party. So why the NRM? It's a party of my choice. It's the party I believe can deliver best my agenda and my manifesto for the youth and the people of Kibanda North Constituency. Okay.
You've said that it's the party in government. Are you trying to say that other parties, once put in government, once they take over government, they cannot do what the current party is doing?
For other parties, I can't say much about them.
Yeah.
But for me, I speak for what I've seen. And the NRM is doing what I believe and know is right.
Okay.
For the other parties, I can't tell, because I haven't seen them do, even when their MPs are in parliament. I don't see them do a lot.
Okay, you say you belong to the NRM party. Of recent, we've seen the MK movement, which for now is now known as the Patriotic League of Uganda. We've seen many youth, especially those who subscribe to NRM, now trying to, should I say, moving with the wave of PLU. As you a youth, why are you not also subscribing to the PLU?
No, for me, I don't know for my brothers and sisters who are crossing over to the other side.
Yes.
But for me, what I know is I decide once, I make a decision once, and I'm committed to the agenda I believe in. Maybe to them, the Patriotic League of Uganda works for them. But for clarity, the Patriotic League of Uganda is not a political party. It's a civic organization that is promoting patriotism across Uganda. So if they feel being a part of a civic organization that is promoting patriotism message across Uganda, well and good, as long as the agenda we have benefits Uganda as a country.
But that message is not all about patriotism. We see people coming out, say even its head, its chairman, says he wants to be the president of Uganda. So there's no way you can say they're only sending patriotic messages to the people all over the country.
Well, you know, everyone has a right to their opinion and their decisions. And I respect the general's statements and decisions when he says he wishes to stand for president at some point in time. But as of now, I believe in what we have now. What will come tomorrow, its time will come. So if the general has a vision of leading the country, as well as how other political opposition leaders have the same vision, it's very okay. But for me, I'm a full member of the National Resistance Movement, yes.
There are rumors that PLA is just an extension of NRM. So if it is an extension of NRM, why would you say I'm a member of NRM but I don't subscribe to PLU? Is there?
As you've said, there are rumors. So whoever is saying that should come out to clarify that.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. You're from one of the regions in Uganda that happen to be, if not having most of the big positions in this country, but you happen to be having the country's number 3. Yeah, the Prime Minister. Exactly. The country's number 3. As a region, how has your region benefited? How do you think people have benefited from the fact that they have the big 3 of the country coming from their side?
Well, for clarity, yes, the number 3 of Uganda, who happens to be the Right Honorable Prime Minister of this country, comes from the Bunyoro region, which we appreciate government for giving, because. But then how we are benefited is, if you take a look, ever since the Prime Minister was appointed in the office that she holds as of now, a lot of things have changed in Bunyoro. Though people might say they haven't seen it, but most like scholarships are a bit diverted. I'm not saying most are diverted, but a little bit diverted to Bunyoro. Just that the challenge we have is leaders who represent the constituents, the constituents of those districts in Bunyoro don't know how to lobby for it. Because trust me, you can't have the number 3 of Uganda coming from Bunyoro. And then you also be in the same Bunyoro caucus. And then you fail to utilize the opportunities. So for me, I feel we have benefited because she has done her best. But the challenge we have is those who deliver what she brings to the ground are the problem.
So, and in the same spirit, I want to ask, have the people of Bunyoro themselves taken the responsibility of asking for accountability from the leaders? You're saying that yes, they are there, but it's them that are not doing their work.
Well, one thing I know about the people of Bunyoro, they love accountability. Because, for example, now my district, Kiryandongo, people are always questioning the MPs, the woman representative, the Kibanda North and Kibanda South Member of Parliament representatives. They ask them, government released PDM. Why are you not like sensitizing us about PDM? They even go further and say NRM is registering, it's renewing its membership of Ugandans.
Yes.
Why are you not coming out to sensitize? That's one thing I love about the Bunyoro region. People always question accountability and they say, why is this not happening? So for us, I believe Bunyoro, we always love accountability and we shall always get it.
So it's okay, you're saying you love accountability and you'll always get it. So should I say that I've just become a bit reluctant that now you feel you should come and fill that gap that maybe these ones who are there have not managed to do? And if you're saying you're coming to fill that gap, maybe the people outside there would want to know which other gaps, are there other gaps that you've seen? Because you can't just come out and say, I want to contest again, it's so and so, and yet they're already there. And to some people, they feel they're working.
Well, for starters, let me appreciate the incumbent MPs of both North and South and the woman representative from Kiryandongo district. They have done their best. But as you know, there comes a time when your best sometimes can't be enough. Because if you look at the issues we have in the district, we have the issue of lack of medical equipment, and drugs in hospitals. In our main hospital, the Kiryandongo hospital, you can reach a point you find patients are being given prescriptions to buy from pharmacies. And yet we have someone who's supposed to table these issues on the floor of Parliament. Then you ask yourself, what are the MPs doing? We don't come out because we feel someone is not doing. Yes, they are doing, but they are not doing enough. Then the most recent issue that really triggered emotions in our district was the land issue, where we saw a full councillor who's a father, who's a son to someone, who's a brother, who's an idol, being beaten like a young child. Reason being, the gentleman stood up to fight for the rights of people. And then we have been trying to reach out to the MPs, and they seem a bit reluctant. An MP claims, I forwarded the issue to the clerk of parliament, I'm waiting for response. You're not supposed to wait for response. You're supposed to do a follow-up. So for us, one thing most MPs forget is that the responsibility of a member of parliament is to represent people from all levels, irrespective of their tribe, culture, and religious affiliations. But you find maybe some MPs decide to say, since I am this tribe, let me center my attention and focus to these people because they are my people. And that's a mentality we have to change, because Kiryandongo district is for all of us all. If we are all fine, the district is fine. If Uganda, that's why they say we are one people, different colors, but the same blood.
Some blood. True.
So yeah. And me, that thing really hurt so much because this issue has been dragging for 2 years. Land is being grabbed, people are beaten, people are arrested innocently for trying to stand up for their rights. And then when the parliamentary representatives are approached, they'll be like, okay, we are working on it. You're working on something for 2 years and it's not really showing results. So that's a very big question mark.
Isn't it a political language that even you could be using now, but the moment you enter there, things will change? Because
we had an MP before all this drama. That was in 2016. The MP who was running from 2001 to 2016. Land wrangles weren't there because the honorable member of parliament used to stand on the floor of parliament and raise these issues and put people to book and say, why is so-and-so grabbing land? Who is he? So ever since Honorable Samuel Owora Motiotada, emeritus now, left parliament, it's when now that issue of land grabbing became a normal activity in the district, in that even lives are being lost because some people want to grab specific land. And we believe if that habit wasn't there, it has just cropped up, it can be uprooted, vaccinated, and never comes back again.
Okay.
So that's why we come out and say this habit wasn't there. So this habit has just begun developing. It's better you crop it before it matures.
Okay, so you've just talked of that MP who used to stand on the floor of parliament and raise the issues of land grabbing in Bunyoro. Understanding Bunyoro is one of those regions in Uganda, if I may say, that have suffered with this challenge of land grabbing, actually land problems all the time. Bunyoro.
Exactly.
Yes, you have the big people in power, but Bunyoro has become a victim, has been a victim of land problems all the time. You're one person who is vying for a position of legislation on the floor of parliament.
Exactly.
And I really want to know, as somebody who wants to be a legislator, you must have found out some of the reasons why these land wrangles are going on in your area, and maybe somebody out there who doesn't know would wish to know what are those things and that you feel now you're going to stand on about the issue of land wrangles.
Because, well, first and foremost, these land wrangles are ranging from tribalistic issues.
Okay.
You find, because Kiryandongo is made up of very many tribes. The Kakwas, the Nubis, the Acholis, the Luos, the Nyankoles, the Baganda. It's like it's the own Kampala of its own in Bunyoro.
It's a US of itself.
So the challenge is the natives of the land, who are the Paluos, are being squeezed out slowly by slowly, simply because we Kiryandongo accepted to host or to be refuge to people who are displaced, people who are being affected by natural calamities. So it has reached a point whereby these people we accept to host want to start owning what again, what they were given just as accommodation.
Maybe you gave them too much hospitality.
Exactly. That's what we always keep telling people. We gave these foreign people who are not part of the natives too much freedom. But then now we have reached a point where we are saying, you know what, enough is enough. We can't host you, give you good hospitality, then you start disrespecting us in our own territories. That's why we have come out and said, we have no problem with hosting people. We have no problem with government sending refugees to our district, because we have a whole village known as the Kiryandongo refugee camp, housing over thousands and thousands of refugees from different parts of the country. But then you find someone comes in, gains a little bit of fame, wants to conquer the whole district. And for us, that's why we are saying enough is enough. Because the past 10 years we have been bearing this. Right from 2016 elections, the person who came through did nothing about land grabbing. Instead, he was the one motivating it. Now again, 2021, we thought maybe, okay, let's give someone else a chance to help us fight. Begins well, along the way, it loses focus. So each time we say, no, let's take back the land to the natives. Let the natives solve the issue of land themselves. Because we have no problem with working with people who are not from the land. It's very normal. For us, what we believe in is we are all Ugandans. But this issue of you trying to be more of a Ugandan than others is where now problems come in. And for us, it's high time we take back our land. We start valuing and respecting the rules of the land you've been given. Because if we say, this area is yours, you're going to be here, cultivate, do your businesses, no one will interrupt. But then someone goes ahead and wants to encroach their side and shows you, I was given here, but I feel like I need more. No. That's not how Kiryandongo works.
Okay.
And I'm sure the people of Kiryandongo are going to show this as a testimony.
Okay.
Because this time we want to take back what is rightfully ours.
All right, I want to go for a short break, but then when we come back, shall begin from the point you were talking of the medical challenge in Kiryandongo. I think when we come back after the short break, shall be talking about it. I'm still Jacob Jr. and I'm with Honorable. I think I should call you Honorable. That is how the process begins. Amen. So I'm with Honorable Ayebale, Shedrick, vying for Member of Parliament, Kibanda. Kibanda North Constituency in Kiryandongo district. After this short break, we shall be continuing from there. You're still on PowerPoint Show, and it's me, Jacob Junior Mungesi, still with my host, my guest, Honorable Ayebale Shedrick. I want to take this opportunity by the to appreciate all our viewers, appreciate the audience. I want to appreciate Enoch and your colleague, Philbert, those students of MOOBS. I really want to appreciate, and the students of KIU and all the other people who do follow us, who keep watching, who keep commenting, who keep reaching out to me and appreciating the work we're doing. Thank you. We can only do that better if you keep engaging with us. Otherwise, we are still on PowerPoint here on MGD TV. As we went for the short break, you had talked about two challenges in Kiryandongo, specifically in your constituency, Kibanda North, and you talked of the medical challenge. And basing on that very thing, I want to ask you, I've realized you're on a campaign of giving out pads. I want you to tell us about that. Is it a political strategy that you're using to earn votes, or?
God. You see, I don't know why whenever someone does service delivery, people connect it to politics. Well, first, I work with an organization called MAG Foundation, which stands for Muchibi for Girls Foundation. So what we do as MAG, we sensitize the young girls about menstruation, menstrual hygiene, and also we teach them how to make the reusable sanitary pads. And then at the end of it all, we give them a free pack for the next menstrual cycle. I can't say that's a political card, no, because if it was a political card, it would strictly be in Kiryandongo.
So you're doing it all over the country?
All over, yes. We have been to Busoga region, where we visited Buyende district. We have also been to Bujiri. We have also been to Iganga. We also went to Busi Island. It's in Wakiso. We also went to Karamoja. It was under an invitation. So it's not really a political card. Now, my main focus why we chose the girl child, I saw in my community, in my village where I come from, young girls are being deceived by men. A girl comes, she wants to buy a sanitary pack. A gentleman tells her, you know the deal. I give you 3,000, you give me something in return. So that's when I said it's so ashaming and degrading that men have reached that level. So I had this campaign running in school, but as you know, university students, their financial strength is a bit low. That's when I got the opportunity and the blessing to meet MAG Foundation. And since we share the same agenda, I decided to really push it further, because I now gotten people who share the same vision, have the same dream and the same goal. So what we do, we go to different rural communities, not urban. We visit the most rural communities in villages. We gather these girls, tell them about menstruation, because we have a counselor who first creates a relationship with them, tells them, have you ever experienced it? If you've never, this is how it happens. If you've ever, how did you handle it? So then from there, we get stories from girls, because girls tell us, sometimes they say, if you're in your menses, you're not supposed to come in public. If you're in your menses, you're not supposed to sit near people. So we try to break that barrier of myths and beliefs that don't exist. We tell them, no. Have you ever seen Kampala girls stopping going to school? Because ABCD, then by the time we live there, a girl feels empowered. She believes menstruation can't limit her. And then even they reach a point of learning how to make their own reusable sanitary pads. That's the most exciting bit of it all. Because the girl, when you show her the made one, she can say, but how does this cloth, whatever, come out of it? But it's really a great experience. But I want to clarify, it's not a political stand. No.
Okay.
Yes, it's strictly service delivery.
Okay, so should people expect more than that, or that's the only project at a time that you're trying to run, that not only, because you like it or not, on the other hand, and you some political it's like a political capital on the other hand, and maybe somebody out there would wish to know, especially those from your very constituency, are there some things in the pipeline that maybe maybe you'll bring that will support them, that will help them, not only the girls, because that is why I see these days people are over emphasizing on girls, and I'm wondering whether boys are not existing.
No, well, for us, we as Mark Foundation, we have a lot, actually, not only in the pipeline, but out of the pipeline. Most of the outreaches nowadays we do, ever since we completed a few districts in Busoga, we encourage the boy child to be a part of it. Because when we go for an outreach, we even tell the LC3 and the women counselors, bring those boys along. But we want boys who have interest. We don't want to force a boy. Sit there, he starts listening conversation, the sanitary part, what is like, what is this? No. We want to teach boys, we want to break this barrier. If the boys are seeing, like your sister is in class and her skirt is stained, don't laugh. Remove your sweater, cover her, escort her, let her change and clean up, and you go back to class. So that's the project we are now also tagging along the Pada Girl campaign. Then we also have the Use a Suitcase campaign, where we collect different scholastic materials and help the vulnerable who can't afford books, pens, like snacks for school, different scholastic materials as well. That one also, it's there. Then we also have the scholarship, where we are paying for a few students' school fees. But due to our financial constraint, we can't pay for many. But as of now, we are paying for about 10 students in Chivoka district at some specific school which I can't mention. But we are paying for them school fees. And then we always check on them on visitation days and give them something small to encourage them in school. Because we know it's not only about paying school fees. And you stop there, no. We go ahead and say, we want to know how you're performing. Are you okay at school? What are you lacking? We give. Then we also have the Pada Girl Schools campaign, where now we visit different schools in rural areas and we teach those young girls about menstruation. The Pada Girl campaign, we go into communities where we meet mothers, young and old, and then young girls. But the Pada Girl Schools campaign, we visit the schools and have this discussion with them freely and openly. We ask them, do you know what menstruation is? Someone can say, me, I know it's this and this. Then the counselor tells them, no, it's A, B, C, D. You have to be hygienic. You have to be this. So there's a lot in the pipeline, and there's more to come, because we are soon launching a Pada Girls Center, where we shall have a big school where we train girls how to make reusables. And then whatever they make is the one we go and start distributing to the girls we meet in rural communities.
Okay, that was a by the way in our conversation, but of course still it is healthy for people out there to know such a thing. Maybe before we continue, I want our viewers to go to the comment section and tell us, in most cases when people are coming to contest in our villages, in our areas where we come from, in our constituencies, people who are vying for these positions tend to come up with projects, but some of these projects die the moment elections end. We want to know why. And are you okay with such projects that people come up with all the time? It is up to you to tell us what you think about it. Now, as we continue, there is something I want to tell us. We are living right now in a country where transparency is not a priority, especially by the politicians. I would wish to know how you, as a person, as a politician, you're willing to go a step ahead and ensure that you are accountable and really provide transparency to the people of Kiryandongo, specifically those of Kibanda North. Because right now, currently, we are in a situation, you know what's going on, what has been going on about the 500 millions of that the former LOP took, and the other four. That they're not talking about the 400 millions that the other commissioners took, but at least they're talking about this particular one that has gotten people's attention sided. So I want you to tell us, what are you going to do to overshadow these?
Well, regarding transparency, I was a former guild president for Makerere Institute for Social Development, and the students who were there during my term of reign, one thing they realized is I love transparency and I love accountability. In that I reached a point I would put the principal on the spotlight to give me a full breakdown of how the tuition is allocated in the day-to-day running of the institute. So talking of accountability and transparency, I believe it's part of me. Because when I reached a point, I know he's going to see this and he will call me at one point. We used to quarrel about the guild fees, because most of higher institutions of learning the guild fees are never accounted for by the administration. They only tell you you have this amount of money, budget on it. But for me, I would sit down, I get the students list, total number of students in school through the bursar. I would steal it from him. My apologies. I would sit down and I see how many students have cleared tuition to zero. Because they would tell us for you to operate fully as a guild account, the student clears to zero. So I would calculate the number of students who have cleared to zero times the 20,000 per student pays, and I know how much we have in the account. In that, to reach a point when the administration would say, we have 6 million, me, I would come out and say, we have 11.8. Then he asks me, how do you come about those figures? Then I pull out the register and I say, these are the students who have paid tuition. If you're arguing, I can bring a poll. I can tell students who have paid fully, bring the bank slips. So me, I believe transparency and accountability is part of me. And then connecting it to Kiryandongo district, Kibanda North categorically, I love putting leaders to book. The current woman MP, Honorable Helen Max Kahunde, she can testify. I always call her and tell her, Honorable, they told that we had that Parliament was given money for women's circles. The woman MP, what's happening? Even reached the point where she would see my calls and don't pick up. Then I would again change the number and say, Honorable, I'm still calling you. Tell me what happened to the money. So she reached a point and she would ask herself, who's this young man? What does he want? Until when she heard that the young man wants to come for member of parliament. So me, I feel like accountability and transparency gives someone confidence to believe in you. If you account for something you've been given, or if you account for something that they deserve to know, why can't you be trusted? And that's the mistake most leaders and politicians make. Like I was glad Honorable Matthias Mpuga didn't deny the 500 million. But you saw MPs when they were given 40 million some time back, people are denying, I haven't seen the money. Yet the member of parliament for Bukoto, is it Bukoto South, Bukoto something, came out and said he was given 40 million. Almost literally 40% of MPs turned against him and told him, you man, where did you get the money from?
Yeah, Bukoto South. This is called this NUP man.
Yes, the NUP gentleman. But then they knew inside them they received money, but they didn't want to account for it. But the gentleman came out and said, I was given 40 million, I don't know why, I'm taking it back. And he was made to apologize for accepting a bribe. And the man just said, okay, I'm sorry, I was lying, the money affected myself, please forgive me, but either way he took the money. So me, I feel like accountability and transparency can't kill someone to be accountable. Because an accountable citizen makes a very great leader for tomorrow. So Kiryandongo district, expect fire in accountability and transparency.
So talking about accountability, because following this same scenario of Mpuga, if you happen to really follow it up, you realize that most of the people defending Mpuga are from the party that you subscribe to. So how are you going to defy the odds that even when the people you're close to, your very leaders are the ones trying to defend the person who has failed to account for the money that he was given?
Well, for clarity, the party I subscribe to are simply speaking the truth about the money. A lot of people have gotten that money, but they are denying. If we are to talk accountability and actually transparency, if you recall, when Honorable Chagulanyi Sentamu was in Parliament, he was given the 200 million for a vehicle.
But he came out and clarified. Oh, that wasn't proof enough.
Let me tell you, no MP has ever returned 200 million. Even Segirinya Muhammad, the Honorable, got the money for the vehicle. But if they are claiming they want to be accountable and transparent.
Yeah, but that 200 is given to all the MPs.
You have a right to
irrespective
say,
of the party.
You can say, I don't want, I have my car. Why would you buy a car when you have a car? Segirinya came to swear in Parliament in a Bentley. A Bentley is not a cheap car. It's not an ordinary car. Honorable Chagulanyi had a very expensive car.
but at least that 200M is something that every Ugandan knows, that yes, MPs are given this amount of money.
Maybe that's aside.
But now this one, that particular that we are talking about, people just had that so and of course, proof had to be gotten at the end. He came out and said, yes, I received the money, but he couldn't account was it or what it was for exactly.
You see, there is a clause in the Constitution, actually in the Parliamentary Act, I'm not so conversant with it, that gives the commissioners of Parliament a privilege to get that money. It has been there for the past I don't know how many years. But my only concern is, why has it become an issue this year?
And the question is, why is, these are all commissioners, yes, the leader of opposition, I mean, Martin Sipuga and the others of the NRM, how comes the others were receiving 400, receiving 500?
It's there.
So the question there is not about the money. The question is the transparency in this money that they're being given. What is it for? And if they're receiving the money, what is it for? The service award that they were talking about, for the first time, people are getting to hear about the service award. Otherwise, leave that aside. What I'm talking about, what I want to do is, because transparency, because it is your party that is trying to defend somebody that the masses, if I may say that, masses are trying to put on, they are trying to hold accountable.
You see, one thing I love about my political party, the National Resistance Movement, we don't handle things that are sensitive on social media.
Okay.
For us, our transparency is in the party.
Okay.
One thing you know is, when you go to Parliament, everyone knows the NRM MPs have a monthly subscription they send to the National Resistance Movement Party. That's when it's open. That's when the transparency and accountability. And then that money, even the party itself is accountable. They tell you, we have 300 and something MPs in Parliament. Each MP brings this amount of money. This is the total. That money does A, B, C, D. Now, the party they're accusing that is in the spotlight for being accountable and transparent, for us, we have no problem. We shall always display our finances out in the public. But there are political parties who can never. Now, for my colleagues, I know this is going to trigger a lot of emotions and comments in the comment section. But I've never had NUP accounting for the money it receives monthly from government. 3.1 billion as the leading opposition party. Then also the money it gets from its MPs, the 1 million per month from the 56 MPs. That is 56 million. Where does it go to?
But
what services does it do? For us, the NRM structures are running.
Yeah, they're running. So you mean the NUP hasn't put anything in place?
We don't know. They have never come out to say. The only time they came out was when they were displaying their head offices at Kavuli. They told us they bought the land 3 billion, and then they raised the structure, is it 2-point-something billion? We were like, okay, we appreciate that. But wanted to know, before this place, what about the first headquarters you had? Account for it. Then they were claiming the principal gave it to them rent-free. As a person who loves Uganda, who are like, so if you gave it, that means you aren't paying rent. Where did the money used to go? Accountability and transparency, zero. For us, NRM, every money is accounted for. Even the president himself pays his subscription every month. And they'll tell you, we have NRM structures, right from district level to village level. All those are being funded, all those run on the budget. And if you have to sit down and see, you can be like, okay, this is sensible. There's a budget flow here, there's money going here, doing this. The register, people are paid 10,000 per day. Those gentlemen who are registering, the registers of the membership updates, they are paid 10,000 per day. Even those who are with them, you see how the NRM accountability and transparency is. For us, we have no issue with the 500 million, right, Honorable Mpuga got. It's maybe his party that has issues with it. But for us, government came out and clarified and said that money has been there. People have been getting it. The challenge is, I have a feeling maybe it's trying to use someone as a scapegoat. That's why it is so much.
Are you serious?
Yes, because why is it that when Mpuga has received it, it's when people are talking about it? There's a gentleman who was the leader of opposition Ogenga Latigo,
yeah.
when he was leader of opposition. Then after he moved, at some point, I think he was moved to a different position. Why don't they question the previous commissioners of parliament from opposition? The monies they have been getting.
But even Latigo came out, I remember sometime, a few days ago, and he was clarifying, he was like, even, he used to use even his own laptop. He was being paid something like 1.8 something millions, and he was like, I'm also wondering where these commissioners, why they were getting all this amount of money.
Politics is politics. Propaganda is the headline of the day. Because trust me, the way I see my comrade Puga being crucified, it's so worrying. The way everyone is now
and that's the big question. Why are people in NRM the ones calling him comrade at a time when they feel that he's being crucified by his own party?
Puga has always been a comrade. That's why you see, I tell most Ugandans, opposition is in you, the public. These members of parliament and politicians, when they are together, when they are off camera, they are the best of friends. You find them attending dinners together, going for meetups together. But for you, Omuntu Wawansi, you're the ones who are killing each other over these political parties. So Mpuga has always been a comrade with everyone, right from when he was a leader of opposition, and even after now when he's a commissioner of parliament. So I don't see, and for us to call him comrade, it's because a comrade is someone you work with, like he's your colleague. But just that our brothers on the other side, when they see you talking with someone, they start, yeah. And it's something bad. That kind of thinking hinders development and progress, of a country moving forward. But I know it will come to pass the same way the FDC saga came of the 500 million, where they had the Katonga faction and the Najanankumi faction. It came and passed. No one talks about it anymore. They are back to business as usual. So even
and that's why I had to ask you this, because even when the FDC was in that saga, people who were morale boosting, the Nathan and Lamafabi, who are the people in yellow, the same people are now here clapping for Honorable Mpuga.
For us, we don't criticize anybody.
Should I say it is a party that loves violence in the opposition?
No, for us, we are welcoming. You see, I'm going to give you the best example. You see the way NRM handled the late Jacob Olanya and the Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga's issue.
Yeah.
Everyone thought this time NRM is done. But, they called the two of them. Our SEC sat down, the Central Executive Committee, discussed with them, had to put, by the time they came out of the SEC, people were smiling. So I believe that would have been the same way the National Unity Platform would have done. Because Honorable Matthias Mpuga is not just a normal MP also. No. He was the former leader of opposition. And he's a land comrade. So they were supposed to call him as the Central Executive Committee or the National Executive Committee. I don't know what they have as their structures. And they discussed those things out. Other than posting things on social media.
But yesterday they had the caucus meeting and he didn't show up. So I think
because he's a lawyer, he knows the procedures and protocols of attending some things. You just can't put a letter on social media inviting him for a side meeting.
And talking about that, him being a lawyer, there is a question that has been raised by the public that the problem with most of our politicians now is because they are suit people, that the men in suits have overplayed on their minds, and that they now feel like they should begin taking in the people in their usual clothes. Maybe you never know. You might be also left out because of the suit, and they want people in casual clothes to be.
First of all, Parliament has its procedures of dress code. You just can't come with your jeans, your end and seat, no.
Which is true.
Yes, so people having that mindset of saying the men in suits. Most of the members of Parliament, if you see them, they don't put on the suits because they want. They put on the suits because they want to represent the people on the floor.
And now they have been termed as the thieves we have in the country. I don't know how that is true.
Of course, I won't deny thieves are there, but then there are those who are working. One black sheep can't let the whole flock be killed because they have a feeling if this one is black, the others will turn black. No. We should now stop this issue of branding Parliament as a whole. it's better we start individually criticizing each person who does wrong. Someone does something wrong, point him out, tell him, lady, gentleman, this is wrong. And that way it will make a lot of sense. But this thing of going, these people are parents. Some are brothers, some are even breadwinners of their family. So you coming out and you say, MPs are thieves. And someone is, son or daughter is at home watching the news. Then the father comes, Daddy, are you a thief? Mommy, are you a thief? So we should not only be short-sighted with the impact of the things we say to the people we say, but let's also have this mindset. They have families.
So are you trying to say that in case the public realizes somebody is going on embezzling public funds, they should cover up? At least say he's taking something, not saying he's stealing.
Individually pinpoint out that person. Like I liked the saga of the Mabati, where they would individually said this one picked. And they bring evidence.
And many ended up in court.
Yes. And made a return
because of
sheet. Because of individual pinpointing, that's how things were worked out. They say, Honorable so-and-so, you took iron sheets. They present evidence, they present receipts, and the Honorable says, okay, I took by mistake. And he returns them back.
But can you take by mistake? Is it true? For somebody who is in power, you know the procedures, you know the protocols of getting such things, and you receive by mistake?
It's not by mistake.
Okay. All right. Is that I said it? I just asked if whether it is by mistake or people really do it intentional and then later come out to say it was by mistake. It has been a good talk. Maybe before we end this show, maybe at least you can send your last word to the people of Kibanda North and the Ugandans and our audience.
Well, for me, my message goes to Ugandans and the people of Kibanda North, Kiryandongo district. Let's embrace peace and unity, because when we are united, we are strong. And when we are divided, that's our weakest point and weakest link. So for 2026, I hope and pray the elections don't divide us like 2021 did, but instead they bring us together, because there's life after elections. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Maybe just to our viewers, one of these days I'll be bringing many of the aspiring candidates, because this is a time when they tend to strategize themselves so much. It's a time now those who were hidden, those who have been out of the country are now coming back to lift their hands out and heads out to say, we want to do this, I want to contest for this, I want to be an LC5. Even when they don't know your language, of course, they will move with interpreters or translators. So I will be bringing those people one of these days, and you shall be interacting. They should tell us, where have they been? Why now? And if they have come out, what are they bringing that is new in the political arena here in our country, and also in the leadership at our local councils and at our areas where we stay in our constituencies and our districts. So I'll be bringing them, and be ready to ask anything. Let us keep engaging. MGD, we are here for you. PowerPoint is here for you. We shall have to to interact each and every day and get to know your ideas. Tell me whatsoever you want, and I'll bring them here. We shall talk and discuss together. Otherwise, it has been PowerPoint for you. I'm Jacob Jr., and he has been my guest today, Honorable Ayebale Shedrick. Till next time, we meet.